Warning, this video contains team selection and captain choices which some viewers may find offensive.
Hey guys, and welcome back to FPL TV. Before starting today, a quick word about OneFootball who have kindly sponsored this video. The world's best football news app is now even better, relaunching with a fresh new design. Gain access to news, scores and stats from leagues all over the world with a brand new interface that's cleaner, simpler and smarter than ever. As for FPL, you can follow each team in the Premier League and get live updates from all the goals and assists every game week. Download it for free using the link in the description box below. The decision last week was who to bring in for the injured Kevin De Bruyne, and I opted for Raheem Sterling in the end, who brought home a very pleasing double-digit haul. A great return, no doubt, but the slight negative was my other consideration Ilkay Gundogan outscoring Sterling for literally half his price. Hopefully, the big investment in Sterling over Gundogan can be made worth it in the next game week. I mentioned in my last video the consideration to captain Sterling last week as a big differential. With De Bruyne out injured, and with Mo Salah misfiring at the moment, it was clear that Bruno Fernandes would be the obvious choice for many FPL managers. And the United midfielder ended up breaking the record for the most captained player since 2017, with 2.7 million of us giving him the armband. When something like this happens in FPL, you can look at it in two ways. You can either go with the crowd and play it safe, because if Fernandes does go big, then of course your rank is going to suffer. But on the other hand though, when you know for sure a player is going to be heavily captained, it also provides an opportunity to chase the upside. And had I gone against the crowd and captained Raheem Sterling, then of course the points gained from that kind of risk can pay off handsomely. In the end, I've got no regrets on captaining Fernandes, who was facing bottom of the league, at home, on penalties with outstanding underlying statistics as well. But in FPL, it's always good to consider and measure up these chances for upside chasing, because when timed correctly, it's a great way to quickly jump up the ranks. It was a lacklustre display from United in game week 20, and Rashford once again let me down since being in my side. That's 4 games in my team now and just the 1 assist so far, which is frustrating considering how good he looked in the FA Cup victory over Liverpool just a few days back. The Man City defence was as solid as ever last week, keeping their 9th clean sheet in 11 Premier League games. There was no Cancelo for me, but a solid 6-pointer from both the centre-backs. And following their exceptional double game week hauls as well, I can have no complaints. But well done to those of you who did catch Cancelo's monster 17-pointer. One of the biggest positives last week was playing Souček over Callum Wilson, which saw a net profit of 10 points for me. The West Ham midfielder now has 7 goals in his last 13 league games and is without doubt one of the real FPL bargains of the season. In that game, it was just the 5 points for Antonio in what was a very lively performance from him. The forward hit the woodwork twice and had another big chance well saved, so a promising display despite not having the points to show for it. So for game week 20, it was a decent score of 54, not bad considering the captaincy blank. It was a 7th green arrow in 8 game weeks for my side, taking me up around 40,000 places to now 240k, and hopefully I can keep pushing towards that top 100k mark in the next few weeks. Let's move on to game week 21 now and check out how my team currently lines up as well as any potential transfer moves. Also, if you enjoy the content here at FPL TV, then be sure to leave a like and most importantly get subscribed. You can also hit the notification bell so you always know when a new video goes live. The 3 players that I'm looking to sell sooner rather than later are Rashford, Roman Saiss and Callum Wilson. Although Rashford has let me down in recent weeks, at least with him I know he's going to start against Arsenal, so transferring him out this week may not be necessary and could easily backfire when I've already got other fires to put out. For example, with Roman Saiss, well, he may have lost his place in the Wolves team now, or at the very least is a rotation risk. And with Wolves keeping a clean sheet away to Chelsea last time out without the help of Roman Saiss, it's hard to see him getting back in the team away to Palace. His opponent's Crystal Palace did really struggle against set pieces in the last game though, and because of this, as we know, Souček scored twice against them. Therefore, if I knew for sure that Saiss was starting, I'd be more than happy to play him this week, so maybe I can give him one more chance. For this game week, it's Everton players that are firmly on the radar, with a home fixture against Newcastle looking a potentially good source of points. Transferring in Calvert-Lewin for Callum Wilson is a consideration this week, and in current form, Newcastle do look the team to target, with them sitting bottom of the form charts, losing 5 straight games. The only issue I have with transferring in Calvert-Lewin this week is that it then gives me a constant benching headache between him, Souček and Patrick Bamford every week. And as we learned from the last game week, benching Souček can very easily end in tears. With me having already used the second wildcard now, of course every transfer I make from this point onwards has to have the longer term in mind. Because I also set up my team for the bench boost when using the wildcard, I now have lots of value spread amongst all of my 15-man squad. For this reason, this week may be a chance to make a more boring transfer and extract some of that value for future game weeks. Therefore, my transfer this week could simply be Roman Saiss back down to Tyrick Mitchell for 1.1 million cheaper. Palace have a nice run of long-term fixtures now, and at a bargain bin price of 3.9 million, Mitchell provides a more than good enough option to sometimes utilise off the bench, whilst also freeing up a lot of cash along the way. Granted, this move isn't going to yield many points, and it is very tempting to make a more exciting transfer. But thinking longer term, I think I'll appreciate having that extra money spare, and it would then leave me more flexible for future moves. A Chelsea defender is also within my thinking, as well as potentially moving back to James Justin of Leicester, so plenty to consider before Saturday's deadline. With no transfers made yet, let's see how the team currently lines up for Game Week 21. West Ham face Liverpool this week, so not the best fixture on paper. However, with Matip again injured for the Reds, and with Fabinho likely missing as well, I'm hoping the lively Antonio and Souček can still do a job for me. As mentioned, it's Roman Saiss and Callum Wilson who are at the top of my list to transfer out. And my only alternatives to Roman Saiss this week are Rob Holding against United and Soufal against Liverpool. Neither are ideal, hence my thinking to sell Roman Saiss this week. I could hold on to Saiss and hope he starts, because he could do well from set pieces against Palace. But if he doesn't feature, then Rob Holding will come in, and I'm expecting 2 points or less from him against United. Callum Wilson will occupy first spot on my bench this week, but should I sell him for Calvert-Lewin, then in that case it's likely I'd bench Bamford this week, who's without a goal now in 3 games. For the captaincy in Game Week 21, I'd be lying if I said I hadn't considered captaining a City defender this time out. With Man City keeping 9 clean sheets in their last 11 Premier League games, a home fixture against goal-shy Sheffield United looks an ideal chance to add to this impressive tally. Because Diaz and Stones don't offer much going forward though, at least not usually, then I'd simply be looking to bank the 6 points for a clean sheet and therefore 12 as captain. A decent score, but not much upside like there is with Cancelo for example. For me, there's always a bit more incentive in chasing the big hauls, and therefore the captaincy this week will be between Son and Raheem Sterling. With Harry Kane more than likely to be out injured, it's yet to be seen how this can impact Son this season. It should see him play even further forward with more responsibility to score goals for Spurs, and will surely see him be on penalties as well. But without Kane's creativity behind him, something he's relied upon a lot this season, will this be a detriment to his overall goal threat? For now, the armband sits with Sterling, with a home game against bottom of the league very hard to look past, but the South Korean will still remain in my thinking before the deadline. So that's all my thoughts for my team heading into Game Week 21. As always, plans can change very quickly in FPL, so if there are any changes to my transfer activity, then as always you can see the final team and transfers over on Twitter shortly before the Game Week deadline. Good luck to you all for Game Week 21, FPL responsibly, and I'll catch you all very soon.